My name is Poonam Yadav, and I'm a product manager within Google Cloud Networking, where my team and I focus on solving the complexities of cross-cloud and hybrid connectivity. Prior to Google, I led AI initiatives at Splunk, including the launch of their inaugural AI assistant. Today, I'm thrilled to introduce Google Cloud's new offering, Cloud Network Insights, an observability product designed to bring absolute clarity to your distributed, multi-cloud, and hybrid network performance. Let me start by answering why we built Cloud Network Insights. What is the problem that we are trying to solve? Most of our customers have workload deployments in multiple clouds, on-premises, data centers. They might start with one cloud, and they expand into other clouds. So for example, their teams might want to use Cloud Spanner in Google Cloud. So now they have workloads in Google Cloud. Similarly, they might have workloads in Azure, AWS, and other clouds. Within a cloud, they are in multiple VPCs, regions, zones. Not only that, they're using managed services from these big cloud providers, as well as third-party SaaS services such as MongoDB and Databricks. So the network architecture becomes very complex. To get visibility into the end-to-end network path in this complex architecture, customers have to use different tools, different vendors, and stitch everything together. But what if you could get visibility into your end-to-end cross-cloud network performance with an AI-powered observability product, which is exactly what Cloud Network Insights does. It is a fully managed, AI-powered network, web app, and agent performance monitoring tool. Let's dive into the details. Where can we monitor? So we provide visibility into various components of the cross-cloud network. So this includes Google Clouds, third-party clouds, on-premise data centers and colos, internet-facing services, APIs, agents, tools, ISPs, transit networks, and interconnects. What can we monitor? So we can monitor networks, the performance and availability of networks, with metrics such as loss, round-trip time, jitter, and more. We can monitor availability, performance, experience, and semantic monitoring of web apps and APIs, with metrics such as HTTP response time, redirect, DNS resolution time, and more. We also support emerging agentic protocols by measuring availability, performance, and semantic monitoring of AI agents and tools, with metrics such as response time, latency, script transaction time, and more. Cloud Network Insights works better than a standalone product because not only can it provide insights into your end-to-end cross-cloud path, but it also leverages the intelligence of Google Cloud products, AI, metrics, and logs. First, it is powered by AI and built for AI. What does that mean? That means that you can use natural language to start troubleshooting your network performance because we have a deep integration with Gemini Cloud Assist. We are also designed for network performance monitoring for agentic workloads. Second, Cloud Network Insights has integrations with Google Cloud Observability products. We have integration with Connectivity Test for static analysis to find misconfigurations in your paths. We have integration with VPC flow logs to identify affected applications and services. Third, we are building strong correlation with products such as outage communications for faster root cause analysis, internal metrics from Google Edge to the cloud region. Now let's take a look at the different end-to-end paths we can provide observability for. We can provide network performance measurement between cloud providers. So you can have paths going from Google Cloud to AWS, from AWS to Azure, from Azure to Google Cloud. Even if the path goes from AWS to Azure without passing through Google Cloud, we can provide you visibility into it. We can measure performance between customer data centers and different clouds. So you can have paths going from on-premise to Azure to Google Cloud or AWS. You can also have paths going to your retail locations and your branch offices. We can measure performance between cloud and on-prem data centers to Google managed services or third-party SaaS services like Databricks or Snowflake. We can also measure performance between cloud and on-prem data centers and custom web apps, API endpoints, or AI agents. So you can have paths going from on-prem or other clouds or Google Cloud to internet applications, API endpoints over the internet. Now let's take a look at the capabilities of the product. So let's start with network monitoring. Here we send synthetic traffic across your cross-cloud network to reduce the mean time to remediation by isolating issues in networks outside of your control. We help you answer questions like, is the problem with the application or with the network? If the issue is in the network, where exactly is it? And when did it start? And then we have web app, API, and AI monitoring. Here we use synthetic transaction monitoring to identify SaaS and web app issues before they affect your users. We help you answer questions like, is the network affecting the connectivity to an application? What part of my app is slow or unresponsive? Is a SaaS app that I rely on responding slowly? Now let's take a look at how Cloud Network Insight actually works. So there are two main components of the product. One is the monitoring point, and the second is the backend SaaS service. You can think of monitoring points as probing agents that you can install within your network. They can be installed anywhere you can install a VM or a container. It could be in Google Cloud, AWS, Azure, any other cloud, your data centers, retail locations, branch offices. These monitoring points send synthetic traffic across your monitored endpoints and collect performance monitoring metrics. They then send all these metrics to the backend SaaS service. From here, the metrics and logs are sent to Google Cloud Monitoring and Logging and are available in Google Cloud Console. Now that we have seen how the product works, let's dive into network monitoring. Network monitoring is layer 3, layer 4 monitoring. We are sending continuous, lightweight traffic across your monitored endpoints. We support TCP, ICMP, and UDP monitoring, and we also show you hop by hop path taken by the data in your network. We have metrics like multipath route, round trip time, latency, loss and jitter, MOS, QoS, MTU, and many more. Now let's talk about web monitoring. This is layer 7 monitoring. We are trying to provide comprehensive web app visibility with HTTP and synthetic transaction monitoring. You can have scripting milestones for your apps, and you can also see multi-page waterfall charting. The metrics you can see with web monitoring are availability or overall time, so HTTP response time, script transaction time. You can also see redirect times, DNS, TCP, SSL, and so on. You can also see script milestone timing. Now we come to a very exciting part of this video, which is the demo of Cloud Network Insights. Here we have Cloud Network Insights in the Network Intelligence Center within the Google Cloud Console. The product has monitoring points, network paths, web paths, and alert policies, because of course, if you're monitoring your environment, you want to be alerted if something goes wrong. Let's start with monitoring points. You can install these monitoring points anywhere in your environment. I have a monitoring point in Google Cloud in Taiwan, in US Central. I have a monitoring point in US Central in Azure. And I have a couple of monitoring points in Tel Aviv in on-premise. And then I have a couple more monitoring points. Once you install these monitoring points, you need to configure monitoring, which means that you need to set up network paths and web paths that you want to monitor, which can be done via monitoring policies. Let's start with network paths. Here I have a few network paths that I'm interested in monitoring that I've already set up. We can click on one or more of these network paths, click on Open in Dashboard, and then view metrics for these paths within the Google Cloud Console. So I have paths here going from a monitoring point in Google Cloud to Azure, Spanner, Google Cloud, and AWS. I can see high-level metrics about these paths. I can see different charts. I can see charts for average and maximum round trip time, data loss. Some of these network paths do have zero data loss. That's why they don't show up on these charts. We have jitter, inbound and outbound, and so on. Now we go back to the network paths. We can click on one of these network paths to see some high-level details. For example, what is the protocol that we're using, the status of this path, and so on. If we want to troubleshoot this path, we have a troubleshooting UI that you can click on. So this path is going from Google Cloud to Azure over interconnect. You can see some high-level details about this path over here, including the MTU. You can see the hop-by-hop route that the data packets are taking within your network. So this hop here is very interesting because it's a new hop that we've added for Cloud Network Insights, where you can see the edge of Google Cloud. So here the data packets are either entering or exiting Google Cloud. We also show you the round trip time per hop. With this round trip time, you can estimate where the packets are spending most of the time in your network. So if you have an issue, you can start troubleshooting where most of the time is being spent. Now you can see other metrics, for example, data loss, jitter, round trip time, bottleneck bandwidth, and so on in this UI as well. We can zoom out a little bit to see a lot more of the time frame. So here I have a data loss event where I'm seeing 100% data loss. I click on that event. Then I go to this tab called Events, and I can see what is happening in the network when I experience that data loss. So you can see that there are some route changes happening here. We are also launching a new feature that will clearly show which hub is experiencing the most forwarding loss. That feature will help you narrow down or isolate where the problem might be occurring in your network, and that'll be really helpful for you as you're troubleshooting your network issues. So I've chosen a monitoring point in Google Cloud and multiple targets, which are going to Azure, AWS, Google Cloud, as well as a monitoring point on premise. You can see all of these paths in one view. Here we are seeing the network view for these paths. You can see the transit networks that your data might be going through. You can also see the hop-by-hop view for all of these paths together, which can be very helpful in troubleshooting if there are more than one path that is being affected by an issue. You can see the active path as well as the paths that were taken in the past. If you move the time cursor, you can see which path was active when. And this is the multi-path route capability of this product. So now let's go to web monitoring in Cloud Network Insights. We can do HTTP transaction testing as well as browser workflow testing. So let's start with HTTP testing, where we are going from a monitoring point in Google Cloud and monitoring Spanner. We can see the HTTP server response here, which is broken down into redirect, DNS lookup, TCP connection, SSL connection, request wait, and download. You can also see some other metrics like download speed and size, and they're all available on the right-hand side here. If you click on View Drill Down, you can get more information about this test. So for example, what is the method being executed? What is the endpoint being targeted? What is the status code you were expecting? Is the response as you expected? You can also see the header and body of the response. So you can get more information about this test here. Now let's go to browser workflow testing. I'm going from a monitoring point on-premise in Tel Aviv to a web app that has been deployed in Google Cloud. Again, I see the HTTP server response, like we were seeing in the last HTTP testing. So redirect, DNS, TCP, SSL, request wait, and download. As you can see, most of the time here is being spent either in redirect or in request wait. Milestone breakdown is a very useful feature where you can write scripts and mimic what a user might do on your web app, and then execute these scripts as continuous interval on your web app. So here we have login, click and wait on a button, opening a couple of pages, and then end of script. If a part of your app is slow or unresponsive, you can quickly see which part that is in this view. The end user experience is a very useful feature of Cloud Network Insights because here we try to tell you how much time is being spent in the network, in the server, and the browser. So this view can quickly help you narrow down or isolate where the issue is happening. In this view here, we can see that extra time is being spent in the application server, which exonerates the network. So you know which team should be troubleshooting this issue. Now we can also see some other metrics like download speed and size here. We can click on View Drill Down again to see more information about this test. If there are any errors, the tool takes a snapshot, and those snapshots are available here so you know exactly what went wrong. You can see the different milestones here. You can see the waterfall chart of the different components on the web page. You can also see resource timing, the performance, which we saw on the last view as well. You can see the content and the domain information here. So this was browser workflow testing in Cloud Network Insights. So now we have seen a demo of network performance monitoring, HTTP monitoring, as well as browser workflow monitoring in Cloud Network Insights. We are very excited for you to try this product in your environment. We have designed the pricing of Cloud Network Insights to be disruptive and flexible to adapt to the needs of all sizes of our customers. The licensing unit for Cloud Network Insights is an active path, which is a path that you are monitoring. We don't count the number of tests that you're running on this path. So there are 3 licensing models. One is the pay-as-you-go. If you are not looking for continuous monitoring, so let's say you only want to monitor 3 or 4 days out of the month, then pay-as-you-go option is the best for you, where you pay for 1 path per hour. If you're an enterprise customer looking for continuous monitoring, then the enterprise subscription is the best for you. Here you say that I want to monitor, let's say, 100 paths or 200 paths. So you buy a subscription for that many number of paths, and you are billed monthly. If you have a very large deployment and you're looking to monitor, let's say, a few thousand paths, then you come in the unlimited subscription, where you pay a flat fee, and then you can monitor as many paths as you would like. All Cloud Network Insights, metrics, logs, and alerts are available in Google Cloud Monitoring and Logging. This means that Cloud Network Insights comes with the power of Google Cloud's partner ecosystem. We also support open telemetry protocols so that you can use OTel SDKs and collectors to ingest metrics and logs from Cloud Network Insights. So please try out the product in the Network Intelligence Center or talk to your account teams. You can review the docs by scanning this QR code. We look forward to helping you gain a clearer view of your cross-cloud network.